Hey everybody, what's up? This is Devin, LaVore, and
Michelle LaVore.
Coming at ya. And yes, you read that title correctly. We are empty. Completely empty. You want to tell them what we mean by that?
Well, we just mean it's like, we just really have felt over the last couple days
2-3 days
of just being completely empty, like not having, there's no like fight, there's no even like contending. It just it's
there's
a very
nothing really more to even give.
Yeah,
it's just like, you know,
we're here, we're empty. And it actually, last night when we were talking and Devin was like, I just feel empty, and I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much how I feel too. I was just reminded of the whole pouring wine into wineskins, and how just before you're going to put the new wine in, it's going to be completely empty of the old. And so I just felt like, you know, hey, we're in this place of being completely empty, which then gives God the room and all of the space that's needed to pour in the new wine.
Yeah.
And so we really have
life, the new encounters with God and all that.
And so it's definitely, it's kind of a weird place to be in, feeling like the empty. It's like we're empty but we're full, because we know we have the Spirit of God, but then at the same time, we're just the process that we've been through, we feel empty. And so it's just this, like,
there's literally just nothing left to do. There's nothing left in the process, you know. And it was a while, it was like probably been for like 4 or 5 days now. The Lord's just been we've been in this process of God's not saying, oh, this is what's going to happen and this is what's coming and this is none of that.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm just like, And I took it because initially you can take things from a negative perspective.
Yeah.
But God's like, you're empty. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, it's awesome. It's good. It's like, don't try to muster something up. It's like, well, Lord, I feel like maybe I could contend for this and maybe I can do this. And the Lord's like, really? You really hear me saying that? Yeah. I'm like, no, I don't hear you saying nothing. You're not doing anything. You're just kind of chilling out or something. Like, what's going on? Like, no activity in the Spirit? No. I mean, well, there's activity in the Spirit. That's for sure. There's always activity in the Spirit. But it's like, as far as we're concerned and like where we're at in the process of our journey, it's like you used that one example about the bread being on the cooling rack.
I really feel like that, you know, you can take it bread, or even, you know, when
there's so many examples,
you know, glass in the fire. Either way, it's like both they've been taken out, and it's like they're cooling. And so it was Monday, like I really had this picture of like, okay, I've been watching a lot of the British baking show, because love that show. And so it was just like, whoa, it's like we're, you know, the bread, it has to go into the oven and it gets cooked, but then it comes out and they always have to cool it down. And I was just like, I really feel like we're on the cooling rack,
where it's just sitting there doing nothing.
It's
not really doing nothing, it's just cooling.
But it's cooling, and it's just, everything is just really coming together, solidifying, and it's like, all right, this is going to be an awesome piece of bread. And similar to, you know, when they're doing the glass work, it's like, okay, it's in the fire, but it eventually comes out of the fire and it has to cool, and you just have to let it sit. Like, there's not this, oh, well, I gotta, you know, you have to do something as it's cooling. So just that's really where I feel like God has us, is in this cooling place. And really, even as with everything with God, you have to just let Him work. Let Him do His thing. If it is, hey, I'm having you guys just kind of rest and chill, and this is the cooling part of the process, then you have to allow Him to do that. Yeah. And
for people like me, of course, that can be super difficult, but I found it pretty easy. Yeah. I'm just like, you know, I'm okay. And
I think God is really, this whole process, He's trained us on, hey, when things aren't happening like oh, this is exciting, oh, this is happening, and this is happening, and oh, we got a vision from God, and we got this word and that word, and when those things aren't there, to really just be like, all right, Lord, be okay, be at peace. And really also, it's like as he's been cooling, he's introduced the whole humility aspect of it. I mean, it really, since Sunday, has been Sunday, Monday, were just this emphasis on the humility, and
well,
then
ever since we read Job 42,
which I read it on Sunday, and you read it on Monday,
and it's just been like, wow, the Lord just really been just, I don't want to say kneading, because that's more dough and a whole different process, but no, He's been really working it in our hearts, you know. Just,
and then so out of the humility comes thanksgiving, and really since I would say Monday, Tuesday, and today, it's just a lot of thanksgiving has just been overflowing out of our mouths, and even in our God times, we're really focusing on Thanksgiving, which I think is just funny because we do realize tomorrow is Thanksgiving.
I know, we're stay-at-home parents, so every day's Wednesday for us, you know, but it was like I didn't realize, you know.
That tomorrow is Thanksgiving.
This is Thanksgiving week. I'm like, you really do have a sense of humor, don't you?
Yeah.
You know, because make no mistake, the battle is still real, y'all. Yeah. I mean, it's the enemy doesn't take a holiday.
No.
You know, just because you're on the cooling rack or you're, you know, the glass thing cooling off so you're not so hot or whatever analogy you want to use, that means God's just got you chilling out right now and it seems really quiet. The enemy's never quiet.
No.
He's always making noise. And the last couple of days, man, he's still been trying to hammer us with all the big hammers.
Yeah.
I mean, he's taken out all of his nuclear warheads against us. And we're just like, whatever.
Nope.
Which is, I think, is another sign that, wow, you really are ready. You're like those trained horses of the queen. You really are ready to carry the king to wherever he wants to go.
Yeah.
You really are ready to carry the presence of God and do whatever he wants to do, because you're just sitting here and you're doing nothing, and you know it's the Lord for you to just sit. I mean, we're in a spiritual sense, you know what I mean? And we're still parenting, we're still we're still living life, but it's like there's such a great rest in it, and it's like in the midst of this going on and this major hammering. You know, on Monday, I was just like, you know what, Lord, I am just going to think, because I was having a hard time with it on Monday, but I was like, no, I am just going to thank you. I'm going to bless you. Because I just started listing off a ton of truths, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I was just letting everything, I really felt like it was born of the Holy Spirit, really. Yeah. And then Ryan Lestrange came out with his Monday word about Thanksgiving, the power of Thanksgiving. I was like, what? I mean, this was after. We saw that after the Lord really kind of worked that in me, and just to kind of confirm, do that, you know, because Thanksgiving and praise and worship, it changes you. It really does. It changes you. It's like I had to, because what was I doing? I was forcing myself. Remember that?
Yeah.
I was like, no, I can see what's coming against me. I really, really don't want, it's literally the last thing I want to do right now, because I want to wallow in myself and my stuff and what's not happening, and I don't understand, and there's a birthing and there's nothing, no baby, and I mean, you can go on there forever.
Yeah.
You can go on that side forever, or I was like, no, I see what's going on here. I am literally going to drag myself kicking and screaming into the presence of God, and I'm going to thank him. And it changed me totally. Yeah. It was just like, see, that's what, and then you have a real clear insight that, like, okay, that was just the enemy.
Yeah.
That was just the enemy trying to drag me down, you know?
Yeah. And even yesterday, I mean, overall, for me, the day was a good day. And then right before I went to bed, which tends to be a time when the enemy wants to just shoot his arrows at me. And once again, it was just like, I get hit. But praise the Lord, it was just, it didn't work. Like, you know, it was probably only maybe 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, you know what? No.
But you communicated with it. You didn't hide it. You didn't internalize it. You didn't, which is a big deal for you.
Yes.
High five on that one. Right here, live on camera.
But it was just like, man. And it was just like, no, you're not going to steal my joy and take away
our rest.
You know, the rest peace. And the peace that we have in the Lord. And
I mean, these are major bombs going off.
Yeah.
Major bombs going off. And like those horses, we're just like, nope. Not going to happen.
Not going to. we can't. You know, it's like you have to just be like, who is God? And I think just like recognizing it. And that's really what helped me last night was when Devin, he was just like, I think that this is just the enemy. You need to recognize that this is the enemy. And I think that honestly is half the battle, because when you recognize that it's the enemy, that it's not yourself, that you're not, I mean, there's things that can be yourself, but then the enemy can kind of help use those along. But it's like when you realize, all right, well then no, I'm not coming into agreement with what the enemy is telling me about God. And I think that was
because it can feel overwhelming, and then because it feels so overwhelming, it's like, oh, this is true. And it's like, where's your brain, self, Michelle, whoever? It's like, what are you thinking? You know, you're not thinking about something noble, lovely, praiseworthy, Thanksgiving. You're not thinking about any of those things. You know what I mean? It's the enemy's just kind of jumped on you and clouded your mind with a bunch of junk that's just not true. You know what I mean? It's like,
and it's like this whole process really has been over the last week just in the fire of like so much of what God's brought up is like things that I've thought or internalized about him. And it's like the yesterday you were saying last night of there should be red flags that go off.
Oh, the two major red flags.
The two major red flags of like if it's that kind of questioning of, well, did God really say those things? I mean, that's what he used against Eve. Did God really say you couldn't eat of the
Attack
fruit,
from the
or
enemy
that you
101.
shall die? You know? And then what was the other one?
Well, it's when you start to question the word.
Did
God really say that? And when it just comes on you all of a sudden, intensely, out of nowhere, and for no reason. It's not, there's no trigger point or nothing that was connected to, or I mean, you can have a trigger point. You know, like for you, I think it was the end of that movie. And you're thinking, oh, it's the end of the year. Oh my gosh, we got all these crazy things we're up against. And it's like, oh, is God really going to move? Did God really say? And it's just the enemy. It's just, because it's a sudden, like, onslaught, like the Bible says, you know, hold up the shield of faith to, you know, thwart all of his onslaught. That means it's in this intense thing. And I've just learned over the years that it's so textbook enemy. It's the old okie doke 1-2 punch type thing. It's like question what God has said to you and start to doubt it, and then it's just a sudden intense feeling or emotion. You know, you're getting attacked. That's all it is. You know. And
so just recognizing it, for me last night was really key, because then I could just be like, nope, we're not going to do this. I'm not going down that road. And I'm going to go to sleep, and I'm going to have peace while I sleep.
And you did.
And I did.
So we are empty, but at the same time, we are completely full. We're empty. We feel like we kind of crossed the finish line. We're bread cooling out on the rack. We're just, you know, there's so many different symbols and signs that we could give to once again say, man, we're in the end. Not only that, we're even further through the pages of that last chapter. So, I mean, we may be on the last couple verses before God's like, okay, next story. You know what I mean? But we're actually full of thanksgiving to God. That's just been our thing this week. Not realizing that it's Thanksgiving. Did you? I did not realize.
I think I did.
I did not realize it until like I didn't realize it. It just wasn't a. So it's like even God is working on Thanksgiving this week. You know, I think God's working on Thanksgiving every day.
He is.
But yeah, so if you're in that situation and you feel just completely empty, like God's not doing anything or whatever, that could actually be a good situation for you. It could be a good position for you to be in, to be like, oh wow, God's just ready to pour out. So don't get antsy. Don't get antsy and try to make something. Oh, I'm going to worship. Nah, that's not worshiping in spirit and truth, because you're trying to make something happen. You know. Oh, well, I'm just gonna praise. I mean, there's nothing wrong with praise, thanksgiving, and worship if you're doing it from a sincere heart. But if you're trying to make something happen, no. You know, well, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. You know, like that little project that I talked about in our previous video. Totally didn't do that project. Because I was just like, you know what? After doing it for like an hour and a half or something, I was like, no. I don't think this is the Lord. I think this is just me trying to make something happen.
Yeah.
Trying to battle against this onslaught, and God's like, that's not the way to do it.
Yeah.
Just listen to me. It's like, I already told you. You already know what to do. Hear and obey.
Yeah.
Hear and obey. And it's just like, embrace the peace. Embrace the stillness. And be okay.
Yeah.
Because if you can't, there's more work to do. And I'm trying to show you there really isn't.
Yeah.
You're really there. You really are who I say you are. You know, so I just wanted to encourage you guys with that. Just, you know, don't try to get antsy. I did.
Yeah.
For a little bit, but it didn't really last that long.
Just a moment.
You know, yeah, it was a very little moment. I was like, nah, this isn't the Lord. I'm just going to chill. Go put together some of my Legos.
Yeah. So that's really just what we have for you guys today.
Yeah,
and we just want to say happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving.
And we are just really thankful to not only be able to be a part of your lives, but for you guys to be a part of our life. And for all of the gifts that you guys do give in helping to support us, and your prayers are so appreciated. And so yeah, until next time, we'll see you guys later.
Yeah, and you guys have a great Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Until the next time, we're coming at you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.